All right, all right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, so it is Wednesday, so let's try to get to a single storyline, shall we? I try to get these guys out Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. That doesn't always happen depending on how the week goes, but those are the days to look for singles reads. We have a Seven of Cups. This is kind of a special day. December the 10th is kind of an awesome day right now. We've got a lot of extra energy in the atmosphere today with those solar flares. So, kind of fun, maybe a little extra special oomph going on. But that Seven of Cups tells us that for characters that are single, this could be a day for two individuals to either get on the same page. This could be two individuals are maybe starting to align. Now, they may not know this yet, but the direction for the course of their lives could set them up for like intersecting one another. And we have the Six of Pentacles or Six of Sacred Circles. This is very timely also if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, just because we're in winter, of course. So it is snowy. And anytime I see sideways cards, I look at it as like shared energy or incomplete. It depends. In this case, this is two people on a collision course. After, with all the different timelines that two people could take, it happens to be that two individuals, probably of equal frequency, are either being compelled, just because of their nature. Each one of us has like a behavioral pattern, right? Like my personal makeup is like I'm a big outdoorsy person. So I like to go outdoors and take long walks. And so, that's if I have like a sudden desire to like get up and move around, I'm probably going to want to go outside, right? So which is good. I see the word outside, WALK, and Aries responds because he knows that word. Um, Aries was just letting you know he agrees with the joy of the WALKs. Oh my God, I didn't know he could spell. Sorry, my bad. With the Seven of Wands here, I think two people, like I said, their nature, who they are, what they want right now is making them take certain steps in life. And it happens to be gravitating them toward one another. Now, this could have something to do with like an inner pull. This could be two people are getting a download right to that heart chakra. Oh gosh, there's a song trying to bust into my head right now. And it's not Straight to the Heart by Bryan Adams or Straight from the Heart. It's not that. It's something else, and it just won't come to me. Let me shift over here because we're talking about something like deep, maybe primal, maybe instinctual. I want to go to an animal deck. King of Wands. It's same energy flow of I want to give to somebody. I don't know. I mean, there in my life, I've known people that I wanted to give to that didn't want me in return. But it doesn't mean that I don't still have a lot to give. I love the fact that these are two characters that seem to be, on one hand, like they have so much to offer and they know that. And they're not letting it, break their heart that they, haven't yet found the person to give to. They are stressful or feeling stressed out maybe right now when it comes to the topic of like, I'd love to have a partner. I just don't know where to find one kind of energy. They may both be stressed and there could be a message trying to come in for them and they're not hearing it. There's something that both characters are missing. What is it? What is it that they're missing? So I only laugh because we got this happy little cat with their happy little, crocodiles here, feeding the crocodiles snackies. This is like, we feed our fears if we're not careful. But normally it's about communication. Both of them have a little bit of communication about talking. Both of them have a little communication about how to begin, conversation with another person. Let me ask this. Do these two have one another on each other's minds? You know what? I think we need a more blunt deck. Are these two able to identify one another? Hermit upright, Nine of Pentacles sideways. I'm going to say yes. I think that these two actually do already know that the other one exists. I even think that both of them could be spending some time like tonight, thinking about each other. This is two single people, both of whom are aware of the other. The Hermit and the Nine of Pentacles are both very single cards, right? But how do we begin a dialogue? It's like they already met each other and they also both just decided, I want to see what would happen between myself and this one person who's on my mind. But oh God, I don't know how to even start talking to them. But here's the thing. They both just made the same, they're looking into the same cup. I'd like to know about her. And she's gone, I'd like to know about him. Gender is irrelevant here. They show up as a him and a her, but it doesn't matter. I don't read for genders. What we do see is the complementary energies of the universe. This is two single people who have had enough time alone. They don't know if the other one has any interest in them, but they would like to know what's going on with that person. They would like to get to know each other. Is that a 70s song? Oh, yes, I'd like to get to know you if I could. Oh, yes, I'd like to get to know you. This Six of Wands says they can picture having a really great outcome because they actually are in good moods. They both have a lot to offer. The idea of partnership, they actually both believe I could have a great relationship. They're not like boo down on relationships. They're not characters who think relationships are awful. They're just maybe both a little bit shy, maybe a little rusty, but they know they have a ton to offer. And they are listening to that message from the universe, which is like your big problem here is that you're just scared of how do you start the dialogue? Who picks up the phone and who calls whom, or the next time they bump into each other or whatever, who's going to actually go ahead and ask the other one out? Is that going to happen at some point? They can picture getting to the good part, but there's this gap between I'm single, I like that person, I'd like to see what could happen, and they're over here saying, I'm single, I'd like to see what could happen, I'd like to check out that person, but we have the gap in between of how do we get these two to talk. This feels so much like the urgent message that we had that was a solar flare message. We have a 10 of Cups and we've got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is sideways. That 10 of Cups being upright, along with that Hanged Man sideways, they have to go ahead and take a step forward, maybe both toward each other, just a smidge. Universe, how are they going to do that? The universe is saying, remember, it takes two people to gravitate toward each other. So if they both wanted to move toward each other, lean toward each other to get that 10 of Cups, they could, but they both have to stop delaying. Okay, so hang on. Universe, what's the best advice to her, our feminine, who, by the way, she's going to have curly hair, reddish hair, strawberry blondish hair. He could have dark hair, doesn't have to be. I'm just looking at the images that we have here. Somebody could own a lizard or a reptile. Somebody could own a cat, maybe both. We may have somebody that rides a motorcycle here. And I don't know if our feminine took a nap today. Our masculine may be thinking that he needs a haircut sometime soon also, just as a weird side note on all that. But okay, so for our feminine, we have the Four of Wands and we have the King of Cups. So the best nudge of an action that our feminine could take right now would be to maybe start to think about things like, okay, put your mind in a happy mindset when you think about romance, when you think about a partner, when you think about not even necessarily him per se, but to think about, Four of Wands is our perfect outcome. It's the life that we would want to have. And obviously this is one that the word welcome is on the roof and there's all these flowers, basically to help get her out of any jitters that she may have when she thinks about being single, but then being interested in this masculine and how would I gravitate toward them? It says, wait, first and foremost, get one's mindset in the frequency of, it's really lovely to feel welcomed. I love to feel welcomed. If I'm going to go see somebody, it feels nice to know that somebody is happy to see you and not feel uncomfortable. So I could extend that energy, that thought process. This is all like the mental thought process we're going through right now. But it says for the feminine, she could start imagining how lovely it would be and what her reaction would be to have him sit down, chit chat, sit and have some drinks together. If she would welcome sitting down and just enjoying some time with him, picturing ourselves doing the thing that we actually want to do, and picturing the emotions that go with it, and picturing how nice it would be, and putting our mind in that nice mentality, so that the next time we bump into each other, maybe that thought is already sitting there. And when we see them, our eyes light up, and it almost feels like we're transmitting that thought, like, oh, I picture you and me sitting down having drinks. That might actually encourage him to ask her out, to do exactly that. I wondered if you want to go to some, restaurant, bar, they're open. Would you want to sit down and have a drink? I just thought it would be nice to sit together. And it's like, if she's already projecting to him, like, how lovely that would be, he may pluck that thought right out of her head and say, oh my gosh, subconsciously, I don't know why, but I feel like I can ask her out and it won't feel awkward. I feel like she doesn't feel anxious or nervous. She's giving me vibes that say, if I were to ask her out, she might like that, which is great because that's what I want to do. But now I feel welcomed to be able to ask her that. But it starts with what she's got in her head. Okay, universe, what's a message for him? What is the best mentality or best thought process for him right now? 2 of coins, 5 of swords, 9 of wands. On his side, we've got the 2 of pentacles is about weighing things, right? But we add in some energy of remember. And because we have a 5 of swords, which is, if he has nervousness because he's had some bad experiences and had a fight with somebody in the past and something he said pissed somebody off, if he's busy remembering that, that's probably not going to be any good. What energy you put yourself into is what energy you're probably going to move forward in. So instead, think about having healed from that. Don't think about the ex that you fought with, even though, of course, that happened to him perhaps, but don't think about that. Choose which ball you want to. Do you want to balance on eggshells, or do you want to just comfortably carry something light like a beach ball on your shoulders? This feels like fun. This feels stressful. So do you want to think about something, super negative and a relationship that went south? Or do you want to remember, yeah, but I healed from that. And, with a 9 of wands, like, I've overcome a whole bunch of things and actually got my head clear, and I'm breathing easier, and I've, learned some lessons. I do think what we have here is he's a more recently healed, wounded individual, or even, maybe the journey that he took toward becoming single was a pretty messy one. And he could be a little bit more nervous to actually, ask somebody out, simply because, I don't know, he may have been quite the victim of somebody who was pretty vicious with him in the past. We don't know what her past was, but she seems to be the one in a greater power position or a more healed energy. He seems more recently healed. And if he's going to be the one who's going to make a move in her direction, obviously it could require just a little bit more, strength on his part to have healed from whatever his past was and now be wanting to ask her out. It could be a little bit more unnerving unless he puts his mind in the right mindset. Yeah, I did go through something awful in the past elsewhere, but that's not where I am. That's not even who I am anymore. I'm healed from this. So this is going to be more lighthearted and fun. He may even be able to kind of like crack a joke about being nervous. Like, haven't asked anybody out in a long time. The last time I did, it didn't go so well. In fact, but I'm going to give this a whirl anyway. He might be able to just own it and make light of it a little bit. And I can see why the universe's message to her was like, if you want this person to approach you, have that beautiful thought in your head. Picture how fun it would be. Give the subconscious vibe that you would welcome this person to come towards you. We've all met somebody or walked into a room where something felt really hostile. We've all walked into, a business where, everybody's in a bad mood, and you walk in and you go, okay, don't know what the vibe is here, but this is horrendous. I'm actually just going to leave. I'm not even going to shop here today. We all know what that feels like. By contrast, we also know what it feels like when, a place is just kicking it and you walk in and the people that work there are genuinely like, hey, how's it going? And they're just treating you like a person and it's just fun and they're not overly salesy and they're not ignoring you. They just like, you do you and, we're all just getting along here and everything's cool. And, great to see you. That's a nice vibe. It makes you feel just kind of like normal. like you can just relax around other human beings. That's kind of the mentality here. But with the added bonus that if she really would like to hear from him, and the next time she bumps into him, she's going to emit that vibe that, oh, it's really good to see you. That could really encourage him to get to the point of being able to ask her out. Now, could she ask him out instead? Sure. But for this story, and this did turn out to be fairly specific, this is two people who already know of each other, already have each other on their minds. They just haven't asked each other out yet. That's where this single storyline is. This is not about total strangers meeting each other. This is two people who already know of one another, but they have not dated yet. And we're watching them ramp up to how they're going to ask each other out and how this is going to happen. I feel like the next time they meet, there will be somebody's asking the other person out. 8 of Cups. Yeah, there's definitely this energy of she may be saying, I don't want to meet him until my mind is really in that headspace. Otherwise, I could still like dart out because I could get nervous. And it says, don't dart out. Or when they bump into each other next time, try not to freak out and run away. Instead, maybe walk toward each other. If it feels like the time is right and these two actually want to talk. It could be a little while. It might be 8 days before these two are ready for that. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Really good to see you. Bye.